Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are literally pulling back the curtain on the apps you use every single day. We're getting right into the massive tug of war between business revenue and user reality. And let me tell you, the strategies heading into 2026, they're absolutely fascinating. I want to start by asking a question that kind of gets right to the heart of the modern tech dilemma. Why do so many apps with millions of users still completely fail to make money? I mean, think about it. There are over 8.9 billion app subscriptions globally right now. That is a staggering audience. Yet we constantly see enterprise apps cross that 1 million user mark and just struggle to generate any predictable income. It seems totally contradictory, right? You'd think downloads equal dollars. But as we're about to see, that old rule is officially dead. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the revenue struggle, move into the hybrid solution, unpack the psychology of paywalls, explore what happens when monetization goes dark, and finally, look at curing subscription fatigue. Let's go. Section 1. The revenue struggle. To really understand how apps make money today, we have to face a pretty harsh business reality. The days of cheap downloads are over. User acquisition costs are absolutely soaring across iOS and Android. Plus, privacy rules, like Apple's app tracking transparency and Europe's GDPR, well, they've severely restricted how accurately ads can be targeted. So it's harder and way more expensive to find users than ever before, which leads us right to a $1.2 trillion problem. You see, many development teams still treat monetization as an afterthought. It's like pouring users into a giant leaky bucket. They get millions of downloads, sure, but they fail to convert them, usually because they just try to slap a price tag on the app at the very end. The missing link here isn't getting users, it's conversion. It's building revenue seamlessly into the experience right from day one. Section 2. The hybrid solution. So if the old model, relying purely on one stream like just ads or just subscriptions, if that's broken, what is the industry actually doing to fix it? And this brilliantly illustrates the new standard, which maps user segments directly to their behavior. Because, well, not every user pays the same way. Your free, low-engagement users, they pay with their attention through advertising. Then you have your engaged regular users. They are the perfect fit for subscriptions. And your power users, the ones who demand high usage and lots of customization, they're targeted for premium tiers or in-app purchases. This layered architecture basically extracts value in a way that's perfectly tailored to specific behaviors, without alienating anyone. But there's this massive industry secret transforming this hybrid model, and it's the opt-in rail. Think of rewarded value exchanges, like Playtime. Instead of forcing an unskippable ad on someone, apps offer a voluntary trade. A user actually chooses to watch an ad or engage with an offer wall, and in exchange, they get in-app credits or premium perks. It's totally frictionless, and the data here is mind-blowing. Users who voluntarily engage with these rewarded ads are up to 6 times more likely to actually buy a subscription later on. Plus, they show up to 7 times higher retention. So you monetize your free users today and dramatically boost their long-term value for tomorrow. Section 3. The psychology of paywalls. This is where we uncover the precise UI and UX mechanics that actually make a user decide to hit that subscribe button. 50%. Just take a second to absorb that number. The data shows that a well-designed paywall can increase your trial to paid conversion by 50% or even more. And get this, that happens without changing a single feature in the actual product. No way, right? But it's true. The gap between a struggling app and a wildly profitable one often comes down entirely to how the pricing is framed on your screen. Let's move to and see how this builds into the 3-step paywall funnel. When a user hits a paywall, the best apps don't just shove a price tag in their face. Oh no, they walk them through a very specific psychological sequence. Step 1, show the outcome. Don't just list features, tell them the real results they'll get. Step 2, build trust. Show social proof, like user counts, or really emphasize that they can cancel anytime. And then, step 3, only then show pricing. This whole flow is entirely grounded in the psychological need to reduce user anxiety before you ever ask them for a credit card. Top apps, think Duolingo, Slack, Figma, they are absolute masters at pulling these conversion levers. Take Day Zero Premium positioning, for example. They show you the paywall on your very first day, right after you experience the core value. Why? Because that's when your motivation is at its absolute peak. Then there's annual first pricing. By defaulting to annual plan, but breaking down the display to show you the daily cost, it anchors the price in your mind. It makes it feel cheaper than a cup of coffee, making that premium option feel like an inevitable next step. In fact, in the APAC region alone, 47% of revenue comes from this exact annual first setup. Section 4. When monetization goes dark. We've talked a lot about optimization, but what happens when this tug of war pulls a bit too far and crosses ethical lines? A fascinating 2024 academic study by researcher Aslis Shemeka at the University of Oulu takes a really hard look at what is now being called malicious video game monetization. As the industry has rapidly shifted towards selling virtual goods in real time, the scrutiny around exactly how those goods are sold has seriously intensified.
So the crucial point is separating standard paywall psychology from dark patterns. What are they? Well, dark patterns are user interface elements specifically designed to trick and manipulate users. Rather than demonstrating value, they exploit quirks in human psychology. Have you ever been totally confused by a tricky cancellation button? Or maybe you felt that gambling-like pull of a randomized loot box. That is a dark pattern. The study neutrally points to mechanics like those randomized loot boxes as a clear example of coerced spending. It really serves as a stark reminder that while optimization is powerful, there is a documented line where persuasive design crosses over into manipulative design.
Section 5. Curing subscription fatigue. Moving away from gaming, there is a massive consumer backlash happening across all types of apps right now, and we definitely need to address it. The contrast in the data here is honestly quite shocking. When surveyed, consumers believed their monthly subscription spend was around $86, but their actual spend, $219. An incredible 84% of Americans significantly underestimate their subscription spending. I mean, let's be real, I think we've all been guilty of ignoring our credit card statements a little too long, right? But what happens when a user finally audits that statement and sees that $219 reality? It triggers mass immediate cancellations. For anyone building apps or just using them, we really need to draw a clear line between subscription fatigue and churn. Fatigue is that mental state of overwhelm. It's the stress of trying to manage a dozen different services across a household budget. Churn, on the other hand, is the measurable outcome. It's the actual metric in a company's billing system when that one single subscription gets canceled. Basically, fatigue lives in the user's head, while churn lives on the balance sheet. Understanding that fatigue is what precedes churn is absolutely critical. Because users are feeling so overwhelmed, they're demanding lower commitments. Looking ahead to 2025, a massive 56% of app subscription revenue is projected to come from weekly plans. Users just want a low-stakes entry point. But here is the catch. A staggering 65% of these weekly subscribers cancel within the first 30 days. So it's a band-aid, not a cure. This model really only works if the app delivers immense value almost instantly. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how top apps are actually fighting this fatigue. First, they're delivering faster time to value during onboarding. They are proving their worth on day zero. They're using clear, simple pricing without any hidden fees. But most interestingly, they're adding flexible pause options and making cancellation totally effortless. Giving a user the option to simply pause their subscription instead of canceling actually reduces actual cancellations by up to 25%. And by making it easy to leave, you actually build immense long-term trust. Think about it. When you offer an easy way out, users are less defensive and far more likely to return later. To summarize the sustainable middle ground, it really all comes down to this quote. The most reliable defense against fatigue is making sure users experience a clear win before the paywall arrives. That right there is the golden rule. Long-term, predictable revenue doesn't come from dark patterns, fake urgency, or tricking someone into a trial they forget to cancel. No, it comes from radical transparency, matching your monetization model to user behavior, and delivering immediate, undeniable value. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative question, something to think about the very next time you open your phone. When you hit a paywall, or watch a rewarded ad, or select an annual plan, who is really in control of your next click? Is it you, or is it the system designed around you? It's a fascinating landscape, and understanding these hidden mechanics completely changes the way you experience the digital world. Thank you so much for joining me today to explore the mechanics of app monetization. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.